Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Whiskey Geeks. It's part 2 of our comeback special. My name's Tim.
And I'm Alex, and we are two brothers on a quest to bring you the perfect pairing of whiskey and comics. Tim, part 2 is all about the whiskey.
Heck yeah. If you missed part 1, go back and listen to it or go watch it. We just talked for an hour about MCU TV shows, Star Wars TV shows, comic books, and all that stuff. And yeah, this time we're just talking straight booze.
It's all booze this time.
We'll see if we go an hour on this one as well. It's been a while. It's how I've already been drinking since we've done any reviews or anything. So as we mentioned in episode 1, it's been like 3 months. So since Christmas time, basically, we've both accumulated probably a fair number of bottles. We've also participated and hosted a couple of tastings with our whiskey club. So we wanted to come on here, talk about some whiskey news, talk about what we've tasted, kind of give a little bit of a preview of what's coming in the next little bit on neck pour sessions and reviews and what we've acquired. So,
yeah,
ooh, yeah,
it's a lot.
It's gonna be a lot.
I feel like a lot of whiskey has joined the shelf. We've certainly both enjoyed a number of very fine drams since we've last recorded. Many of those have actually been with each other.
That's true.
Virtually.
That's true.
On some Friday night Zooms.
Yeah.
So which has been nice. And yeah, we did 2 very great tastings with our clubs featuring 2 of our favorite Canadian whiskey distilleries.
Now, unfortunately, I missed both of them. One, I was hilariously sick.
Both ends so sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a gastro thing that we think might have been the norovirus. It was so bad that I got up in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m. to go get a glass of water and then straight up fainted in my front hall. Actually very lucky I didn't pass out down a flight of stairs, concrete stairs, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm actually very lucky that it wasn't worse than it was.
Yeah. Or that you didn't smack your head off the corner of your island.
Corner of the granite island or the wall, or the glass didn't break and go into my jugular. Anyway, it was a thing. So I missed our first tasting, which we can just talk about right now. So the first club tasting that we did that I missed, that I'm very, very excited to get into, and there's some news about this as well. We've talked about this distillery a bunch. It was, I think, my favorite.
Yep.
Won the award for favorite non-Scottish whiskey. Macaloney's. Look at this tasting kit for those watching on YouTube. Look at this.
And as you said, with some news with this is now a piece of, this is a collector's piece now, because this has...
Maybe I shouldn't drink it.
Yeah, don't drink it. This now has the original, the OG name of the distillery on here.
Damn it. We don't do the whiskey thing to collect. I'm drinking all of this.
100% you're going to drink that. But yes, they've officially settled that lawsuit with the SWA, and they have, slight rebrand. They've dropped the Caledonia from the name, so they're now the Macaloney's Island Distillery,
which I think kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
Macaloney and Caledonia back to back trying to say was a lot.
It was a mouthful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we hosted, we had Robin, their brand ambassador, come on with our club, and we were able to procure a number of these little kits. This is the Macaloney's, the Origins kit. So going through the Glenloy, the Poichin, which is their pot still.
So
like
good.
Pot triple distilled, like their Irish style.
Yeah.
The Macnabraish, which is a wine barrel finish. I'm butchering all of these names, by the way. The Sergade Braish, which is their Oloroso and PX Sherry. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
At the STR.
The STRs.
Oh.
So excited for that one. And then the peated Derrick Braish, which I'm just about at the bottom of a bottle of peated Macnabraish, which you just got.
I was gonna say I've got about half a. This is the peated Macnabraish.
Peated Macnabraish, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got like 2 ounces left, so I've been nursing it.
Yeah.
But you were there.
I was there.
What did people think? How was it?
People really, really liked it.
It's very good
it's
stuff.
really
That's
good.
why.
And
It's good.
I mean, the wild thing, I mean, you know, I think we've said this before. The crazy thing about Macaloney's is a lot of the stuff you can't even call whiskey yet.
Yeah, I know. It's spirit.
Because it's island spirit, because it hasn't spent 3 years in an oak cask yet.
Yep.
Now, the amazing thing they're doing is they're able to get this incredible flavor into their whiskey with the STR casks that they're using, which I know we've talked about before. And if you haven't,
this might be someone's first episode of the Whiskey
So,
Geeks. Thanks for joining us, by the way. So it's
shave, toast, rechar. Which is basically a way to rejuvenate a cask, and it also allows a lot of the alcohol to interact with the oak faster. Yep. So it doesn't need to spend as much time in the barrel to impart the flavors and to get all those congeners. See, that's a tough word. The flavor, just to get the flavor into the spirit. So
I hit my mic with my Glencairn. It made
I
a
heard
nice
it. It sounded
noise.
It really was.
It was intentional.
Cheers.
Cheers to Dr. Jim Swan for coming up with the STR process too.
Yes, absolutely.
Flex that Whiskey Geeks brain.
Oh, so it really is incredible. I mean, I'm just, incredible whiskey, incredible Canadian spirit, whatever you want to call it. But our group, I think, leans towards liking the peated stuff. At least the people that were in this tasting were leaning in that direction. So I would have said the favorites were the Poitchen, the triple, because I think that one really took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah.
I've
tried it. I tried it before. Like, I was fortunate right before the end of days, i.e. COVID. I visited Macaloney's March 2020.
That's right.
And I tried the Poitchen there, and I was just like, this friggin' rocks. And then Whiskey Dad, our dad, got one of these Origins kits like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And like passed us some samples of it, and that Poitchen's amazing.
Yeah. Really, really like it. I mean,
if you like Irish whiskey.
Yeah, you'll like.
If you like that Irish whiskey, Irish style whiskey is woo.
Yeah.
But I
their
am
wine.
pumped.
Like you're a big fan because you had that the bottle of their cask strength wine STR barrel finish, right?
Yeah, their first cask strength release. I picked up a couple of bottles of that. So it's the Invermally.
That's right.
Which is the red wine barriques. STR red wine barriques, and hot damn, is that bottle amazing. I bought two as like it's their first cask strength. Maybe I'll buy two. It was like $100.
Like, I'll save
$10 a bottle. Maybe I'll save one, and I'll just throw it in the back of my cupboard, and maybe this will be the one thing that I use as a collector item and sell it in a couple. And I tried it and immediately was like, oh, that second bottle's, I'm gonna get into that.
I'm gonna crack into
I know I'm not gonna be able to just let it sit there and not drink it, because that shit's delicious.
Yeah. So it was great. Yeah, great tasting. Robin was fantastic. He was actually in a hotel room down in New York at the time.
Nice.
And he just did such a great job facilitating, like getting us the kits and like the shipping to different places. Anyways, it was great, and he was great, and he stayed on like after the tasting was like officially over. I just stayed on. We just shot the breeze for another hour with a few stragglers, and it was wonderful. Cool.
Well, if you have a club out there and you want to do a cool whiskey tasting, highly recommend giving Macaloney's a call and seeing with them. Another one that our club did, which I missed out on because I don't think we mentioned this on this episode, but I welcomed a second child into the world with my wife.
Congratulations.
She's just over a week old. So at the time of this tasting, we were in baby prep mode, and it was like I might have to at any point drive my wife to the hospital. So I was just on I'm not touching alcohol.
Not drink 5 grams.
Yeah. But we hit up this other Canadian distillery up in the Yukon, the wonderful Wizards of Two Brewers.
Oh yeah.
And look at this effing can. I'm gonna open this for those watching.
They did a great job.
You don't fall. Look at all that whiskey.
So much whiskey. So
the kits that we got, it was two samples of each of them.
Yeah, well,
so we one to have as a group, and then just one to save and have later.
Yeah, just
way to do it.
You know what? We should send you two because one, you can enjoy it, and then I mean, so we actually Bob Baxter, one of the brewers and founders of Two Brewers Whiskey, was the one that we were talking to, and he said, well, and then you can share the second one with someone else that you want to let know about Two Brewers. Or Genius. You could have a second one to drink and enjoy later on for yourself.
Genius.
And it was great.
Bob, you're a genius.
Just, wonderful human being. And that's actually what is in my glass. I have a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of the release number 31. Just the classic.
There you go. Yeah, so wonderful. So they do their things in releases and batches. So I'll let people know what was in the kit. So it was release 31, the classic. We had release 30, which is a peated, 25, which is another peated, 27, which is labeled as innovative. Ooh, yes. Interesting. And then 28, which is a special finishes one. So 5 different releases.
28, buddy.
28, yeah.
28 was that sherry finish.
Oh, yeah.
It was that PX.
PX finish. Shit.
Oh, buddy, you're gonna love it.
Should I just order 3 bottles of it right now?
Yes, you should. No, that was actually Bob dropped so much knowledge on the group.
Yeah, and
it was like, I don't want to take away from other whiskey tastings that we've been in. We've been very fortunate to
we were spoiled.
We are absolutely spoiled, but we got spoiled with Bob. He spoke for almost 2 hours straight.
Jeez, I can't wait.
And it was from the perspective of a brewer and a distiller, right? He's the maker. So every aspect of how they do this, he's a part of.
Nice.
And it was great. One of my favorite slides in his presentation is he had close-up shots of the staves from their casks with the 5 different char levels. And so you could actually see the cracks in the wood. So the more heavily charred you get, the more the drier the wood is at the surface level. So the more cracks there are, which means the spirit can go farther in. And I just geeked out hard. I was like, Bob, I got to stop you right here. I'm very excited about what you're talking about.
I might, we've been chit-chatting back and forth, Bob and I. I've got the recording of our club tasting. Maybe I'll see if we can get permission to edit that part out and throw it up as a little Whiskey Geeks special edition. Learn some stuff.
Yeah, because it was great.
Because I talked to a couple other members of our club recently, just hey, how was it? What'd you think? Just trying to gauge some stuff. There's some guys in our neighborhood, and they've both mentioned when he went into the different char levels, it was just awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll put that up as a little special edition thing.
Yeah.
Rad. Well, I mean, I'm super pumped because I don't even remember what release it was from Two Brewers, but I've only tried one sample from Two Brewers.
Yeah. So is that the Edmonton Scotch Club bottle?
No, the one that you've got? No, I still haven't tried that.
You still haven't tried that one? Okay, because we were wanting to do that together.
I think so.
Pour it right now.
I know I should. No, it was one that our dad had.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it was, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to dive into all of these wonderful Canadian whiskeys.
So good.
So we did one other tasting. We got to shout out one other glorious son of a bitch.
Oh, the goat.
Friggin' Mike Brisebois, the Whiskey Explorer. If you don't follow him, what are you doing?
Oh.
I was very fortunate enough to win one of his random draws through being a member of the Whiskey Explorer Society, and won a couple of tasting kits for a recent Deanston tasting.
Thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome. I should have just kept it. In retrospect, I should have kept all of them myself. Sons of bitches.
Yeah. And then
so it was 6 samples.
Yeah.
And I'll just run through them really quick. So there was the Deanston Kentucky Bourbon Cask Matured, which started us off, which was okay.
It was really nice entry level.
Really
just nice entry level whiskey, yeah.
And then we went to I think the next one was the Stout Cask Finish, right?
Yep. I think the special, yeah.
Deanston Stout Cask Finish at a 50%.
Yep.
We went to a Deanston 17-year-old, 46%, and then shit got crazy.
And then it got wild.
So like those 3 were good.
Well, that first 17 was good, and the stout one was because we talked about this at the time, like it was along the lines of the Offerman lag, right? Like yes. It had some of those like stout influences. I mean, this was non-peated, of course, but had a bit of that. Yeah.
So then we went up, kicked it up a notch to a Deanston 2002 Port Cask Finish, at a 51%.
So very nice.
Very good. We then were blown away by a Deanston 2001 Organic PX Hogshead Finish, which was a Taiwanese exclusive.
Yeah.
Which was a 54%.
That one was spectacular.
Unreal.
Spectacular.
Unreal how good that was.
And one of the things, sorry, just before, one of the things that I've always said about Mike is his ability to source bottles.
It's crazy.
Like he's unrivaled in his ability to just get bottles. So like, how do you get a Taiwanese exclusive release? I mean, I know he didn't go to Taiwan, I don't think.
No.
So it's
after trying this one, I was just like, I would pay an amount of money that I'm glad my wife is sleeping. I would be willing to pay an absurd amount of money to buy a bottle to buy that bottle. So I went looking. I was like, I wonder. I can't find it. There's no auction houses. There's like, you can barely find any information on it.
Yeah. Like there's hardly any even reviews anywhere.
Most of the things you can find are in websites not written in English.
Yeah.
But so that was phenomenal. And then, we closed it off with a Deanston 1974 37-year-old.
I was no big deal.
Yeah. Casual. Just casual. And a 37-year-old still at 50%.
Yeah. Yeah. Which that was the thing that was crazy. It's like, sorry, we're getting a cask strength 37-year-old whiskey?
Yeah.
And what was your, I mean, I know what you said about that, but after you had it, where does that whiskey rank for you?
Ooh. I believe I said in the chat that night, I said that this gives the 46-year-old Bunnahabhain that we tried with Mike a run for its money.
Yeah.
As the single best whiskey I've ever tasted.
Yeah. It was so flavorful. And I think
crazy.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that it was still 50%.
Yeah.
A lot of that really old stuff is always like low 40s.
Low 40s because, for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was an incredible tasting. Mike, of course, crushed it on the presentation, knowledge side of things. We did like a deep dive on the Deanston distillery. Yeah. Obviously,
I honestly cannot recommend his tastings enough. Again, if you're a whiskey fan in Canada, join the Whiskey Explorer Society.
Yeah.
He runs an absurd amount of I don't know how he has the time, but the amount of tastings that he runs is and it's amazing, and they're all very, very well priced for what you get.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like compared to some of the other ones that you get. I mean, I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but
no,
it's for what you're getting and just
the knowledge.
Yeah,
The
it's really good.
effort that Mike puts into his presentations really makes me think the next time we run our own, we really got to up our game. Just kidding. We're amazing hosts too.
Oh, sure.
So a couple of whiskey news things that I want to hit, and then we're going to get into our pickups.
Yeah.
Stuff that we've picked up. Then we'll get out of here. Real quick though. So you're drinking Two Brewers?
Mm-hmm. Two Brewers released 31, which is their classic, which
Nice.
has it's very clearly a Canadian whiskey. So like it does have those, like, you know, it is part rye, but unpeated, just a very nice. I think Bob was saying most of the classics are around the 6 to 7 year.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just nice, clean, cereal, like
Right
lots
on.
of those cereal notes, and then you're getting some of that vanilla from the oak. Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Cool. I was going to tell you what I'm drinking, but it's in my list of things I picked up, so
Oh.
I'm going to do that when I get to it.
Can I ask you a question that I didn't ask in the first one, which this probably would have been better? That's not Elsa. That's up on your mantle, obviously, but it's like light blue, and it's been bothering me because it's autographed.
No. Yeah, I got an Elsa autograph.
Yeah, no.
Now this is for those just listening. I've got one of those pop vinyl pop figurines. That is Bill Nye the Science Guy, my friend.
Oh, because you did you've hosted him for a couple talks. Right. Okay.
Yeah, in a now previous life, I was a booking agent and helped colleges and universities with event planning and such. And I did 3 shows with Mr. Science Guy, and so at one of them, the school had went to their store and bought like 6 of them.
Nice.
For like the student council members, and there was an extra one, and I was like, can I buy that from you and have him sign it for me? And they're like, oh, you can just have it, Tim, for all your help. So I was able to get a autographed Bill Nye pop figure. No, that's fine, man.
Didn't mean to sidetrack that. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple of things in the whiskey world that I wanted to mention. 2 things. Well, 3, but we already touched on the lawsuit with Macaloney's.
Right.
One of my favorite distilleries, Glen Scotia,
yes,
just released a 46-year-old.
They just found this at the back of the warehouse?
I have no idea, but I'm now wanting to just kind of do some crowdfunding of if anyone wants to donate some shekels towards me buying a bottle of it, because it's only 10 grand. I would put on one hell of a. You know what? If people want to help fund it, we'll do a tasting.
Yeah. Oh gosh, absolutely.
Right? Let's do it. 10 grand, you get 26 ounces.
Yep.
It's only $400 a person. $400 an ounce. Come on, guys, let's do this.
Sure.
But that excites me because that's the oldest expression that Glen Scotia's ever done. I'm never going to get to taste it. But I thought that was exciting. Also, the other thing,
I was just going to say, also Glen Scotia related, was their what was that? Their special
the
Campbelltown Festival special release that they're putting out, that we're also unlikely to be able to get a bottle of, but
it's a peated.
Yeah, it's a peated Campbelltown.
Peated PX, I believe, finish. Yeah. Every year they come out with their limited, either their Distillers Edition or their Campbelltown Malts Festival, which is, I mean, for a lot of people know about Facial, the Isla festival. Campbelltown is their own, and they all have their own special releases. And for the last 3 years, the Campbelltown Malt Festival release from Glen Scotia has looked incredible. It's all, right up. It's all been right up my alley. It's all like Oloroso and PX finished, and Sherry Hogshead at 56%. Like, it's all
stuff Sherry you would absolutely want to have.
That I really want. But yeah, and then them doing a peated is super interesting, because I have yet to try a peated. I've tried peated Campbelltown, because Long Row,
right,
is very good. The Long Row peated is very good, but not tried anything peated from Glen Scotia. And God, Damn, it would be cool. The other weird thing in whiskey news that I wanted to bring up that you actually turned me on to was a little something that Ardbeg was doing.
Oh, buddy. So, yes. So Ardbeg did a special. So it's actually really, the whiskey sounds really cool. So it's a Ardbeg that they buried under the bog where they get their peat from. So it's right. So the name, I mean, it's in Gaelic, so I'm going to butcher it. Fan Foyd.
Sounds right.
And it means under the turf, right?
It's pretty cool.
So what they did was they took 2 casks of their Ardbeg, Ardbeg whiskey in second fill bourbon casks, buried them for 2 years, almost 3 years. And the idea with that is that these are oxygen deprived casks. Now, the whole thing with casks is that they interact with the environment around them.
Yeah.
And one of the main things is it needs air to breathe.
Yeah.
So the tasting notes on this is that it imparted a earthy, mossy, and herbal flavors.
Shocking.
As opposed to the trademark intense smoky notes. So, I mean, of course, because you buried it in the ground and it wasn't interacting with the sea spray in the air and all the rest of it. So, from a strictly experimental whiskey, that sounds kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Sure. So, the only way to buy this, though, was as an NFT.
There we go.
And so for those of the uninitiated, the NFT is the non-fungible token, which is on the blockchain and the crypto and yada, 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 means that this one virtual bottle...
That's a very good explanation that you just gave.
Yeah. Thank you. That this one virtual bottle of whiskey is just yours because it has the blockchain behind it to identify this one section of code, and you've got the NFT as the certificate. Anyways, very basic explanation of how NFTs work. So you can then exchange your virtual bottle of Ardbeg for a real bottle of the Ardbeg whiskey. Now, what would you pay for a bottle of Ardbeg? There was only 2 casks.
Okay, so
we're talking 700, 600 bottles times 2, depending on the size of the cask. I assume it's a regular bourbon cask. So let's say there are 1,300 bottles.
I mean,
not what you would pay, right? Because what
it's worth.
You would pay versus what you think they might be selling it for are 2 very different things, right? So let's say
normally for stuff like that, I mean, for like single cask stuff, that's like special edition. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about very shortly is single cask
special edition-y.
Single cask special edition-y type
like
things.
What you've got over your shoulder.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And I would say on the high end, I would say 350. On the very high end, I would say 5 to 600.
Okay.
On the moderate end, 250 is usually a single cask bottle kind of thing.
Yeah. You've dabbled in some cryptocurrency, yes?
Yeah, I own some.
Yeah. Would you spend 1 Ethereum coin on this NFT? Because that's the cost.
It's 1 full ETH coin?
1 full ETH coin.
Hang on a second. Let me pull up my app.
Yeah. That's the cost.
Oh boy. Do you want to know what 1 ETH is trading at right now?
I would.
$3,000.
Right.
That's spicy.
Yeah. Now, just remember your 1
How
ETH
old
coin.
Is it?
I mean, I assume it's maybe their 10-year-old like, so it spent 7 years like a regular Ardbeg, and then they buried it for 3 years. It doesn't say. It just says 2 casks of Ardbeg whiskey in second fill bourbon were buried in a peat bog for 2 years and 10 months.
That's concerning.
For 1 ETH coin.
I mean, I get what they're doing. They'll sell out.
Okay,
that's the thing.
Okay, here we go. A bit more information. 456 bottles.
Okay, I probably would have changed my price with only 400 bottles. I probably would have been like low end. I mean, I wouldn't have said $3,000. Let's be honest.
No.
I probably would have said low end 500, high end 1,000.
Sure, but yeah, 3,000, and that's let's remember that's just for the NFT.
Yeah, which you then have to exchange.
Which you then exchange if you want.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I want to look at it's like, so the NFT, it's like you get like I don't want to degrade the NFT technology because I do think that it's very promising, but it's like you get like a nice little photo of it, and there's like some other kind of like virtual display of the bottle or something like that you get, and then you exchange that coin for it.
Yeah, so
and the thing is, you could resell that coin, right? Like that's the thing with the NFT technology. Is like you could buy it for 1 Ethereum, and then you could auction that off, and then potentially get 2 or 1.5 Ethereum, and then that person can exchange it or resell it. I mean, it's this. Yeah. So that's making a physical product out of a non-physical thing.
The purchase was done through blockbar.com, which is a Singapore-based blockchain facility where they've got their warehouse. Apparently, all of the like physical bottles of this were being stored at the Singapore facility, and it said buyers can either redeem their NFT for a physical bottle, or they can trade their NFT within the Blockbar marketplace, store their bottle in their virtual bar, or offer the NFT up for sale on the Blockbar marketplace. Right. So like a lot of other NFT places, what you can do with this stuff.
Has that happened yet? Has it like
hit the market? It was April 19th when this
Are they sold out? Do you know?
I don't know. This might have been a good thing to go and check out. I mean, I'm
intrigued.
I'm sure they are, right? Like I can't imagine that it wouldn't be. But that does seem. I mean, I understand a lot of people are jumping on the NFT bandwagon, and this is the first instance of a distillery doing it that I've heard of. So like it's innovative, it's cool, but that is pricey for a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, it is
especially for a apparently non-age statement, other than the fact that it spent almost 3 years under a bog. I mean, could it be that it is only like 3 years old?
I mean, it looks pretty cool though.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, it looks cool.
Marketing on this is all pretty cool.
Yeah.
But again, marketing, even the virtual.
Like the virtual bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways.
Storage and insurance. I think I got to like sign into this to see if I can.
See if there's any left.
I believe there's still some left.
Oh, well, for 1 Ethereum coin, you might think might be some left. Because think for 3,000.
Be surprised.
Well, for $3,000, like think about the bottles you can get.
Oh, well, that's the thing. Like, you know,
I mean,
I could buy 3 of those bottles or 1 Glen Scotia 46. But yeah, for $3,000 you could buy
a lot
sweet.
A lot of very
sweet bottles,
a lot of good stuff, or like some other, like 30-year-old bottle of something that you know is fantastic.
For sure. Yeah. I think it was under $3,000 when we bought the Highland Park 30.
Yeah.
And Bunnahabhain, their 30-year-old was 1,000.
Yeah.
Could have got 3 Bunnahabhain 30-year-olds.
Yep.
For the price of 1 potentially 6-year-old Ardbeg.
Yeah.
Anyways. Interesting. Well, that's fun.
Yeah. That's
kind of
kind of
fun.
What?
I like distilleries swinging for the fences and doing cool stuff. Let's start what bottles we've recently acquired. I want to start one off with one that you've got. So Ardbeg did one where they deprived it of they they subterraneously aged it. We've got a bottle of whiskey that was sonically aged.
Yeah, we do. We've got Metallica's Blackened, which was housed and aged with a curated Metallica playlist that infused it with the epicness of Metallica rock and roll.
Yeah, so they basically put a speaker up to the barrel and played Metallica music at it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's what they did. Yeah. I love how it's like sonically
it's pretty hilarious.
Aged. It is. It actually is like really fun.
That's an absolute nothing.
A
nothing thing. That's a fun marketing twist.
And it's got like a nice QR code on here so you can actually get the playlist that was played in the warehouse. And so, yeah, it's a blend of straight whiskeys finished in black brandy casks, which I also kind of like that they, it's like black brandy, and it was to celebrate the Metallica Black album. And so we went halvesies because you couldn't get it in Ontario. It was only available out in BC. Yeah. So shout out to my buddy Aiden, who I made go and I think he went and grabbed me a bottle. And then someone else up here in Ottawa was like, "Oh, that sounds cool." And I was like, "Hey, do you mind running back?" So he made a couple trips to grab a couple bottles, and you and I went splitsies on a bottle because we didn't really feel like we both needed a full bottle of something that was sonically aged.
No, from what I've tasted and gathered, when metal bands make whiskey, it's pretty much Jameson. So I haven't tried my half yet, so I'm anticipating something that's very drinkable, and
it's 45%. It's exactly what you think it is.
Yeah,
I have had it. We'll jump on at some point and share a dram together and do a review.
Yeah.
But
spoiler warning, there are going to be a shit ton of Metallica puns, and I want to see how many song titles I can put in the review organically. I bet it'll be more than one.
Oh, it'll definitely be more than one. Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah, no, I mean it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Charge your batteries. Now I just want to do it. I want. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first with?
Well, this is another one that we both have a bottle of, and I just feel like it comes off the musty, earthy, herbal notes of that buried Ardbeg. Let's talk about the Canadian bottle that we both picked up. Bareface.
Oh yeah, nice.
Did this experimental. This is bottle expression 1 of their Wilderness series, which is a limited release. I'm not sure how limited, but this was infused with wild mushrooms that were hand picked by, I guess, like in a sustainable fashion, with the help of a local, naturalist that went out with them and helped them do this. So this is with Matsutake wild mushrooms.
Yeah,
that were
pretty cool,
dropped into the barrel. So so this came. I first heard about this by a buddy of mine up here, Max, who picked up a bottle and just said, "This was too interesting not to buy." And he said it's very drinkable, it's very smooth, which is sort of classic Bareface, but he also said it is earthy. So I'm actually looking forward to cracking this one.
Yeah, it should be good. So yeah, 42.5%. It was aged in French oak red wine casks and sherry pipes. So
yeah,
that sounds incredibly drinkable.
Yeah, very, very intriguing.
Nice. How do you want to
do this? Do you want to go one for one?
How about
do you want to just blow through all my stuff?
Yeah, you blast through yours, and then I'll blast through mine. We'll get out of here.
All right. just staying on the Canadian side of things. I've got this very nice bottle of, again, Macaloney's with the old school logo. This is one of their Trois Cask series. This is the Highland, the blend of the Blair Athol and Macduff.
So finished. That was the bottle after when I went there in March 2020. Yep. That is the bottle that I picked up, and it's gone.
Yeah.
It is very good.
Yeah. So this is 57.5%, one of only 797 bottles, and you had one of the other ones. So how about that?
Yours is 57%?
Yes.
Oh, mine definitely was not.
Oh, no. Really? Oh, interesting. Huh. Now I'm wondering if they had a non-cast strength release version of this as well. This bottle was actually gifted by the Whiskey Dad to, in remembrance of my dear sweet good boy Strider, my 15 and a half year old chocolate lab who passed away just recently. So he got this to remember him. So every time we have a sip of this, I'll be thinking of my good boy dog.
Nice.
Yeah. I've got a couple actually bottles from Single Cask Nation that I inexplicably have not opened yet. So this, we were talking about Mike earlier. So this is actually blended malt number 9-year-old at 65.4%. So this was
it's very good
Whiskey Explorer. I will say I have tried it because I was over at his house, humble brag, and he cracked a bottle and we shared a dram, and this is phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I don't know how, I guess it's because I tried it with him that I didn't feel the need to crack it right away, and I don't know what I've been waiting for, but I can't wait to get back into that one.
Content. You've been waiting to make content. That's
right. That's the problem. And then I've got this really, it's like in the box. Now you get to hear me open the box. This is the Single Cask Nation Westport 16-year-old, which is Glenmorangie.
Oh, nice.
Right? Wow, it's just, the light's blasting that one out. So this is also cast strength. This is 50.6%.
Nice.
So, which is obviously going to be very, very good. Moving right along, a bottle that I picked up for the Whiskey Wife, Beth. I've got this nice Deanston 12-year-old Madeira cask finish.
Ooh.
So this is a little special release that was able to get our hands on, and I don't know if you can see, but
still haven't cracked that, eh?
Still haven't cracked it.
Jeez.
So, then I believe this is something that we both have. So this is the James Eady 11-year-old Cole Ela sherry cask finished at 56.5%. So this is I did crack this and have a tiny little snort of when I got this. This was my birthday bottle from the whiskey Dad and you. So very
it's hilarious. So Dad was like, I'm gonna buy Alex a bottle of this Cole Ela Palo Cortado finish, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah. And for his birthday, you want to come in on? I was like, hell yeah, that sounds amazing. Unbeknownst to me, he then bought me a bottle for the second kiddo as a celebration for that. I was like all bummed. I was like, oh man, I gotta wait to get a sample of that.
Yeah, he's gonna have to mail it.
And then like 2 weeks later, he was like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah. And then the last thing is I was able, and I'll give you one guess who I might have been able to get this through, but I was able to get a bottle of batch 1. You're not going to be able to see this. Bunnahabhain Shabanic. Nice. An old school batch number 1, 46.3. Of course, it's 46.3. It's a Buna.
Of course.
So this was their original peated malt that they did.
Yeah.
So
Shabanic.
Very, very much looking forward to cracking into this. I did I recorded doing a neck pour of one of the Whiskey Dads. He had a couple bottles of Shabanic, and we did this up at the cottage last summer, but we did it No, but we did it on top of a mountain.
Oh, it's the one that was completely unusable.
Audio got completely destroyed because of the wind, and we just couldn't end up using it. But I'm not sure what batch that was. But anyways, love the Chobanic. So yeah,
Nice.
So those have been my additions.
I'm close to the end of a bottle of Chobanic. It might be batch 3. But when we'll do your neck pour, I'll kill the rest of my Chobanic and we'll hop on and do a Chobanic pod.
Nice.
Or a video. Nice, man. It's gonna be some
good
neck pours.
Some nice things.
Rock and roll. Well, I'll start off with what I'm drinking right now. This was a gift from you, but I am having the Tomatin cask strength.
Yes.
Tomatin, we did just the Tomatin 12-year-old with one of our pairings.
Yeah.
I believe that was the Triumph and Torment.
Strange.
Doctor Strange and Doom. Book was one of the very first pairings that we ever did and recorded. So you go back in the archives and find that one. But bourbon and sherry cask matured. It's fantastic. So thank you. Let me get the percentage on it. So I didn't record a neck pour, but we'll pretend that it's just a neck pour, and I'll do a review on this. 57.5.
Yeah.
So it is a banger.
That's a beast.
Beast. It's pretty good.
Tomatin's has great distillery and value. Just to cut it, great value for what you're getting out of that distillery. Great Highland.
Yeah, from when it comes to like Highland distilleries, it's probably one of my favorites. Another pretty cool bottle that I was able to pick up was this Galdrins, which is a Campbelltown blended malt.
Yeah.
So this is from Douglas Lang. So this is in part of, I think I mentioned this in a previous pod or a video that I, at the start of this year, kind of dubbed 2022 the year of the indie bottler for me. Of like, I don't know how much money I'm going to spend on core range stuff. I'm mostly going to go out and hunt for the independent bottler, single cask, one-off weird stuff, and just kind of cool it on getting Lag 16, Bowmore 10.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, that stuff is fine, but this stuff is when it gets cool. So this is, Douglas Lang, a really cool indie bottler. They do this blended Campbelltown, 46.2%. There will be a full review on that coming. I've tried a couple drams of it, and it's very, very good. There is a review of this up on our YouTube channel, but I'm just going to mention it here. This is another indie bottling, the 80 Rattray Tobermory 12, 57.8%. So you can go and check out my review on that, which is really awesome.
That is so good.
It's really good.
It's so good.
It's just like a 57% banger. Just bourbon barrels, nothing fancy, no fuss, no muss. You want to know what Tobermory whiskey tastes like? We just cranked it up to 57%. Here you go.
Put it in your mouth. A very, very nice Easter weekend park dram of that while we met at a park down in London, and the kids were all playing together, and it was great.
It was very, very good. I too, a single cask nation. So I have the Tomatin again. So single cask nation Tomatin 12-year-old, 58%.
Wow.
On that bad boy.
So a lot of cask strength happening here.
Yeah, apparently I'm only buying stuff that's over 50. So I might do the double shot review on the Tomatin.
The two Tomatins.
Just side by side the core, like the core release cask strength with the independent bottle cask strength. See how they match up together. That James Eady that we've talked about. And then these last two aren't indie bottlings, but they're kind of fancy releases. These came from, again, the GOAT, Mr. Mike Brisebois, was able to procure these for me. So first up is this Deanston 2006 cream sherry finish, which is a 13-year-old Deanston done in a cream sherry. For those looking, the color on this bonkers. So 54.2%. on this one. A lot of people in Canada were able to get the 16-year-old Oloroso, organic Oloroso Deanston, which was a phenomenal release.
That was the cream sherry, right? Was that the
No, it was
organic?
that was
Oloroso.
just the
organic, yeah.
Just organic Oloroso, 16-year-old. So this is a 13-year-old. I haven't done a side by side because I don't have any organic Oloroso. I think our dad has some. I kind of want to. I know he watches these. I would like to steal a half sample to do a side by side because I think they would stack up really well. And then the
pièce de résistance.
Pièce de résistance, what I treated myself with for starting a new job. This is a Bunnahabhain hand-filled exclusive from Warehouse Number 9, 2015 Oloroso Hogshead. Hand-filled by Sarah Ferguson on November 12th, 2020.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. And this is a Bunnahabhain that comes in at a whopping 64.4%.
Amazing.
A nice little hand-filled direct from the distillery. And again, big thanks to Mike for helping me get this. Because I mentioned to him, you mentioned in a Bunnahabhain tasting a couple of years ago that I was in with him that he'd tried these like hand-filled bottles, and I'd mentioned to him, like, if you're ever able to find one that's not crazily overpriced, I would totally be interested, because as we've mentioned before, Bunna is my favorite distillery. Yep. And being able to have something that was just hand-filled right out of a cask from the distillery.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Pretty special. And so I have cracked into that one, and it is spectacular.
Yeah. Well, and Warehouse 9's like that's like the special warehouse.
Their signature warehouse, where all the really good stuff goes. So there will be reviews coming for all of these various whiskeys. Probably going to take a bit to get them all recorded and up, but they are coming, folks, so don't worry. But I think there's a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah.
And a lot of interesting stuff that you can find and can still get. But nothing, except for this one, but
there's still some dusty Chobanics out there, and
absolutely, you can still find some stuff. Cool, man. Well, this is fun little two-parter on a weeknight.
On a weeknight. And we only had, it was just a little two dram evening. No big deal. No big deal.
Not bad at all. All right, folks. Well, thanks so much. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and liking things and sharing things, and go to our YouTube channel if you're listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, go subscribe to a podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Help us get those numbers up. We're all about them stats. Yeah. Share it with your friends as well. And we are going to be getting back into the official pairing stuff as well. We're going to kind of, figure out where we want to go next with the books, but we're going to hit Saga. We're going to hit Monstrous. Whoops. Pointed the wrong shoulder.
Which side's
we got a whole bunch of books planned and pairings. We're going to get back into those as well. But lots of whiskey stuff, lots of TV and comic book reviews and nerd stuff coming.
More stuff coming.
Back in the saddle, baby.
Yeah, everyone's healthy. Everyone's healthy. Babies have been born. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and I never sleep anymore, so I'm always up. So why not?
You're up anyways.
Why not film some whiskey reviews? So that's the plan. Well, hey, thanks, folks. This has been a fun couple hours.
Sure.
You get a nice double shot, and you're going to get that bonus episode that we talked about in part 1. So if you didn't listen to it, go listen to it, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So from the Whiskey Geeks, my name is Tim.
And I'm Alex. And remember, Scotch and stories, they belong together. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.